Holly here today with a new video for Marker Pop, and today we're going to be using the Cottontail Cuties set from the latest Neat Tangled release, the Tag Builder Blueprints number 6 from My Favorite Things. We're going to be using 2 of the circles for that, and 1 of the little tags there. And then I'm also going to be using the new Doodlebug Spring Things paper. I'm using the piece that has the polka dots, tiny little polka dots on it. And then I've got some flower sequins from Right at Home, and some random sequins from Pretty Pink Posh, and some clear sea beads. And we're also going to be using the shaker pouch embellishments from My Favorite Things. We're going to be making this cute little shaker card tag. You can put it on an Easter basket or attach it to a gift. And we're also going to be using some distress markers, a paintbrush, and a little bowl of water. So let's go ahead and get started. My original sample was done with blue, but I'm going to make one in pink, and you could make these in all different pastel colors if you wanted to. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut a piece of pink paper, pink cardstock, using the circle that cuts out the frame with the opening in the center. And then I'm going to cut the solid circle from the pattern paper with the little polka dots. And this is going to be my background that you see through the shaker. And I'm just going to run that through my Big Shot. And you just go ahead and pop those out. There are 3 pieces to this circular shaker. The other piece makes like a half pocket, which is kind of fun to put money in or put a little tag or a note into it. I used it at Christmas time to make some cute little money holders for my grandfather that I had posted on Instagram using the Beast Friend set from My Favorite Things. So we're going to go ahead and start to assemble. And we're going to use some Ranger Multi-Medium Matte. You could pretty much use any liquid adhesive you wanted to. I'm just using that because it's on my desk. I'm going to take one of the shaker pouch, which is here, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of the multi-medium matte around the outside, that little flat part of the lip there. I'm going to end a thin strip of that, or I should say add a thin strip of it. Don't do what I do here, where I get one area that's kind of thick. Mostly because the elements that we die cut have stitching around them, so if you put that down over the liquid glue, it's going to ooze out through the little stitch holes. And that always kind of makes a mess. So go ahead and put that multi-medium matte around the outside edge there. And then we're going to lay the pink frame over top of it. Kind of run your finger or your bone folder around the edge there to seal it down. And there you can see I've got some of the multi-medium oozing out of the little holes. And then you're just going to set that aside to let that dry. Just takes a minute or 2. You want to make sure you have a good seal so that nothing comes out of your shaker. And then while that's sitting aside and drying, we're going to go ahead and start working with our image. We're going to go ahead and use the mini MISTI. I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of Tim Holtz Distressed Watercolor cardstock. And I already have my image in the MISTI. And I'm using the little girl holding the basket. And I'm going to use some VersaFine black Onyx ink. Now, usually when I do watercoloring, I do not emboss the image. I'm not a fan of embossing, whether it's clear, colored, whatever. Just not my thing. Heat embossing, but I will do it if I have to. But for some reason, I was having some trouble today with some bleeding on for some reason. So I went ahead and stamped it with the Versamark ink, and then I didn't like prep the paper or anything. I just went ahead and coated it with some clear Hero Arts clear embossing powder. If you're using clear powder, you don't have to worry about a little stray because you're not going to see it anyway. So just went ahead and cleared it with that, and then I went ahead and heat set it with my heat tool. And this way, when you watercolor in the images, it creates like a border, and you're not going to have any bleeding between your colors or coming outside of the lines. So then I'm going to go ahead and color with the distress markers. I've mentioned before that you can use anything you have on your desk as a palette to color with. Anything that's plastic or a slick surface. So I'm just using the packaging that the stamps came in. And I'm just putting the colors down. And I'm using spun sugar, squeezed lemonade, tumbled glass, tattered rose, rusty hinge, pumice stone and vintage photo. So I'm just going to go ahead and start out by dropping some water into the area, and then I'm picking up the color with the damp paintbrush, and then just kind of dropping it in. And then once that dries, I go back in and add a little bit more color to create some more depth and shadows. So I'm just going to go ahead and work my way around the image. I'm using the vintage photo for the basket and I believe it's the Tattered Rose for the flesh color and the Rusty Hinge for the hair. And then the blue, the pink, and the yellow check for her outfit. And then I'm kind of keeping it similar, like the eggs in the basket are the blue, pink, and yellow too. So it's a good way to tie in your other colors to bring everything together when you're doing it this way. And then for the pumice stone, I'm just using it as a highlight or as a shadow on her little coat there with the ears. I wanted that to be white like a bunny, so I'm just painting a thin line with the water where I want that to go, and then I'm just adding it in. You could also color directly onto the paper with your markers first, and then bring your damp paintbrush in to bleed the color out. You could also use your Zig Clean Color Real brush markers to do this, or any type of watercoloring medium. I just seem to be on a distress marker kick lately, so that's what I'm using. And I'm trying to go very soft here with my colors. So once I have that all done, I'm going to go ahead and clean off that piece of plastic. Really simple. Drop some water on it, use a paper towel, and you're good to go. Like I said, anything can be your palette. You don't have to buy a fancy thing or make something. You could even use your clear block sitting on a piece of white paper so you can see what your colors are. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Cottontail Cuties coordinating die set from Neat Tangled as well. I'm going to go ahead and put that over the image, and then I'm going to add a piece of post-it tape, and then I'm going to run that through my Big Shot to die cut that image out. I've gone ahead and sped this part up where I'm filling in the shaker. I flipped the shaker pouch over, and I'm adding in these flower sequins, sea beads, and some additional sparkling clear. I am really bad about making sure all my sequins are facing the correct direction, so this took me forever, so I went ahead and sped that up so you didn't have to sit through that. Once I have all the sequins where I want them and how I want them facing up, I'm going to go add some more of that Ranger Multimedia matte to the front side of the inside, what's going to be the inside circle. So you want to add the adhesive to the part that you want to show through the shaker, and then just flip it over and attach it to the back. And I like that this paper is double-sided because it has a cute little, Easter pattern on the back side. And then I'm just using my bone folder to run it around the outside to seal it up and make sure I have a good seal there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive, that same adhesive, to the back of the image. I like to use the multimedia matte because once it dry, it's not sticky like the mono adhesive because there's some of that image sticking out. So I'm going to lay a block over that. Then I'm going to take a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock, and I'm going to use some more of the VersaFine ink, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment from the same Cottontail Cutie set. Just says Happy Easter, and there's a couple other cute little sentiments in there too, and some fun fonts. And then I'm going to use the little tag from that Tag Builders number 6 set, and I'm going to die cut out the little Happy Easter. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of the tag near the center where the circle is. And that's just so it'll adhere to the tag a little better, so the tag, this banner part, won't move around basically. But you don't have to do this step. You could just put it through and put your string through and without actually adding any adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and add the adhesive there. And then I wanted a little bit of sparkle, so I found this thread in my stash. Some Silver Sparkle Divine Twine from Your Next Stamp. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the silver one. It comes in silver and gold, and then there's hundreds of other Divine Twine that they carry as well. So I just folded that in half, and then I'm running it through the back, and then I just simply tie it into a knot. And this leaves it open where you could add it to an Easter basket or tie it onto a present. And that's pretty much it. So I've got a pink one and a blue one. You could do yellow or other colors to match your sequin. So hope you like it, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.